Episode 3.
We'll soon see more clearly than prophets. Oh, child, can it be you come to your father raving about your bride-to-be? Did you not hear that the last vote has been cast? Or I am ever yours, your ally through thick and thin.
Father, I am yours and you know me well. You set me on the right path and I am following it. I would not prioritize any marriage over the wise guidance you give me.
Good, because this is how I handle the situation. And you must support your father's judgment, always. This is the very reason why parents pray for their children to be obedient. So they'll go blow for blow with their enemies and still honor their loved ones, just as their father would. But for someone who raises hopeless children, what else can you say they've done but make more trouble for themselves and give their enemies an excuse to mock them? Now, my son, don't you ever lose your head for the pleasure of a woman. You'll watch this once beloved grow cold to you, a wretched woman in your bed and in your home. What could crave a deeper wound than a false friend? Dismiss this girl as though she were your enemy, so she can be married off to someone in the house of Hades. I caught her openly disobeying my commands, alone among the whole city. I will not have it said that in my city lies are confused with laws. I will kill her. Let her say a prayer to Zeus, who rules over the families. If I allow my own relatives to walk all over me, everyone will follow suit. Who would trust a man to run a city if he can't keep order in his own house? Whoever breaks or cheapens the law, or feels that they can dictate their own laws to authority, will never win praises from me. Everyone must obey the city's chosen leader in matters large and small, just and unjust. I am confident that the man who can govern himself well can govern a city too. You can depend on the soldier who stays at his post, while a hail of spears rain down a true and faithful man. There is no crime greater than disobedience. It topples cities. It makes fugitives out of families. It puts armies to flight. When good things are in order, obedience to authority saves many lives. One must defend the order of things in society so that we can let ourselves be seduced by women. It's a legacy to be deposed. If it must be so by a man, then to rightly be called weaker than women.
Unless old age is playing tricks on us, you seem to be speaking wisely.
Father, the gods endow mankind with reason, supreme among all the traits man can hope to possess. I couldn't say, nor would I want to say, that you are handling this situation incorrectly. But there may be something profitable in difference of opinions. Now, as your son, I am obliged to look out for you every time a person speaks or acts or points his finger at you. For your eye is frightful to the common man when he must tell you things which he knows you won't be pleased to hear. But I listen under cover of darkness, and I hear how the city mourns for this young girl, saying that of all women she deserves the least of all to die, so disgracefully for her good deeds, all because she wouldn't allow her own brother, lying unburied in the gore where he fell, to be torn to pieces by flesh-eating dogs and birds of prey. Doesn't she deserve to get a share of the gilded honor? Dim whispers to this point circulate in the otherwise silent city. I can think of no treasure more precious, Father, than your success. What greater honor can there be for a child than the fame of a prospering father, or for a father than the fame of his child? Now don't reserve just one way of thinking for yourself, saying that this is correct and nothing else. For the one who imagines he thinks without equal, or has a tongue or a soul like no other, shows only how empty his head really is. But even if a man is wise, there is no shame in him straying from the path and picking things up as he goes. Look how one tree on the riverbank yields its smaller branches to the stream that's gorged with fresh snowmelt and saves itself, while another that's just too rigid is washed away, roots and all. Likewise, the captain who's tied his ship's sail so tight that it cannot yield to the wind will have to sail the rest of the way with oars once he's snapped his mast in half. So yield, and let your wrath subside. If I'm allowed to have an opinion, though I'm just a young man, I think it would be best by far if every man were born full of wisdom and knowledge. But if this is impossible, and it normally doesn't happen this way, it is still good to learn from a thought well spoken.
Your Majesty, if he speaks suitably, it is right that you learn from him, and you from him, Haman. For both sides have spoken well.
Are we so rattled with age that young men must do the teaching now?
That's not right at all. Even if I'm young, it's just best to judge by my actions, not just by my age.
And is there any use in honoring rebels?
I wouldn't even tell someone else to honor rebels.
And has she not come down with that very affliction?
All of Thebes disagrees with you.
Will the city now be telling me how to rule?
Can't you see how childishly you have spoken?
Must I rule this land by someone else's opinion?
It's not a city if it belongs to one man.
Is it the city? Is the city not ruled by the man in charge?
And I'm sure you rule very nicely in a wasteland.
It seems this one's taken sides with the woman.
Yeah, if you're a woman. I'm actually trying to help you.
You ungrateful child! Putting your own father on trial!
Only because I can see that you're making a mistake.
Is it a mistake to respect my own authority?
No, but you can't worship yourself while you walk all over the gods.
You polluted creature whipped by a woman.
You would never find emotions clouding my judgment.
Yet every word you say is in her defense.
And yours, and mine, and the gods below.
You will never marry this girl while she's alive!
She will die and in death kill another.
You would really dare to make a threat so bold?
What threat is there in discussing your foolish plans?
You whine while you talk since you lack wisdom.
If you weren't my father, I'd say you were out of your mind.
Oh, don't flatter me. You're a slave to that woman.
So you want to do all of the talking and none of the listening?
Oh, really? It's clear by Olympus. You're happy to abuse me with these insults. Bring that wretched creature before my eyes so she can die while her bridegroom stands idly by.
No. Don't hold your breath on that. She will not die beside me, and you will never look upon this face again with your two eyes as you rant and rave, whatever friends will let you.
The boy, your Majesty, stormed out in anger. At his age, the mind grows resentful when it feels pain.
Let him go. Let him concoct some superhuman plan. He will not free these two girls from their fate.
Do you intend to kill them both?
You have a point. Not the one who's kept her hands clean.
And how do you plan to kill the other?
I will lead her along a deserted path, and then seal her in a rocky cavern there, leaving her only as much food as is necessary to clear the city's name of the charge of murder. And at some point in that cave, she will beg Hades not to let her die, since he is the only god she cares for. Or at any rate, she will realize then that there's excessive pain in worshipping the god of death.